Our third speaker has spent his career unlocking the mysteries of the human brain. Along the way, he was instrumental in reconstructing the face of the Perak Man, the oldest human skeleton ever found in Malaysia, giving us a glimpse of our ancient past. Apart from being a neurosurgeon, he is Professor of Neurosciences and Chairman of Brain and Behavior Cluster at University Science Malaysia. This afternoon, he will tell us the story of how one of East Coast states in Malaysia rose to prominence in brain, mind, and neurosciences. He yearns for a Malaysia where institutions across the country work together to develop talent and pursue national excellence regardless of ideologies or backgrounds. Please don't get shocked when he comes on stage later. He looks a bit different than usual, like Professor X in X-Men wearing his cerebral helmet. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Professor Jafri Malin Abdullah.
Okay. Can you start the video, please? I'm not using PowerPoint. I'm on 18-minute video. So forgive my Kelantan English if I tercakap Kelantan English. But I hail from Kota Baru, Kelantan, where we have a school of medical sciences there. And we are the only hospital, Pakar USM, outside of Kuala Lumpur, in West Malaysia, of course. So I'm very adamant because I'm very stubborn-headed person, because that's why I put the topic just now. Not everything good happens in KL. So 30 years ago, when I arrived back from my training overseas sent by the government of Malaysia, I was trained in Ghent University. I went to Karolinska and University of Florida for my training in neurosurgery, and I had to do a PhD in neuroscience. Coming back to Malaysia, I had to change. Coming back to Kelantan, I had to change. I had to change my mentality. Tak leh buat, tak say buat, tak buat, you know, to something boleh buat. Nak buat, tapi kena plan, kena semayang banyak, doa banyak, pray banyak. I have to push, and I have to innovate and collaborate. So, when you look at what I did, I had to make myself into a good and trusted neurosurgeon in the state of Kelantan, or East Coast. Catchment area, 4.5 million people, lots of sick people. Tumors are 6 centimeters in size. Where I train, the brain tumors are maybe 1 centimeter or even less. I remember calling my professor, I said, "Prof, you never taught me how to remove huge brain tumors." Yeah, he forgot about that, because in Belgium, all tumors, in Sweden, tumors are small. Yeah. So my comrades did not trust me because I'm a neurosurgeon with a PhD. So they said, I must be a very bad neurosurgeon. That's why I'm running into PhD. Or if I'm doing PhD, I must be a very bad scientist because I'm operating people. But they did not know that being a hybrid person is very important. And so I had to plan to get stuff, equipment. I had to establish a department, the first department of neurosciences in Southeast Asia. Thanks to Prof. Dr. Zabidi Azhar Muhammad Hussein, the dean at that time. Thanks to Arwah Dr. Ramli Saad, the Pengarah Hospital of Hospital USM, who agreed to tolerate me buying neuroscientific equipment in a hospital university, including, of course, the surgical equipment as well. And thank you to Mahathir Mohamad, because our alumni wrote a letter to him. He tabled that letter in Parliament, and suddenly we received funds, about 40 million ringgit, to move forward. And what I had to do now was to get the human resource and the space. So we had to take spaces in our hospital that was not unused and explain to my engineering friends, and using certain budgets, modify the four walls, the roof, to make a class 100, lab. It's not easy. To make a special operation theater, it's not easy. But we managed to go through, and you see from 1995 to the year of 2000, we did that. And I had to find human resource. So I said, where do I get my human resource? So I went to see 10 institutions. I said to them, give me your best student in biology, your best student in physics, your best student in chemistry, etc., etc. And the dean gave me this boy or girl, and I promised the dean that I would take care of this person until he did his PhD in neuroscience overseas. So we sent them overseas. I met with the professors. I chose where they should go, whether they should go to Switzerland, UK, Sydney, Australia, and many other countries, Germany and Switzerland. And then when they came back, we wanted to start the first course, our own local course, in Kota Baru, Kelantan, not in Kuala Lumpur, my dear. Very stubborn-headed, So we started the first course in Masters of Surgery, Neurosurgery. I remember when we wanted to start the course, my comrades were saying, oh, you're going to produce stupid Malaysians who do not know how to operate the brain. But now the course has run for more than 25 years. It has been graded by the World Federation of Neurosurgery to be on par, and we tied together with the South Korean residency course in neurosurgery. And we started then to think. We kept reading newspapers, politicians saying, oh, kita tak cukup psychologists, kita tak cukup psychiatrists, kita tak cukup neuroscientists. But we never do anything. So we decided to do it in Kelantan. We started our Master of Cognitive Neurosciences. The Neurosciences cognitive course overseas is usually 1 year or a 2-year course. And when the person graduates, he cannot do very much for the community. So we revamped the whole syllabus. I went to see 10 deans from the School of Social Sciences to business, to economics, to veterinary sciences, and we decided to have our Rojak Mama course of the Master of Cognitive Neuroscience because you use the brain for everything. You use the brain to buy and sell. You use the brain to fall in love. You use the brain to go to the toilet, So there's so much we do not know about the brain in Malaysia. And we started other courses as well. And the last 5 years, we started clinical neuropsychology and psychology in this, and we wanted to get lots and lots more students. So many students now get confused when they fill up the UPU form, or they thought they were coming to USM Penang or USM KL. But now they have to, oops, Kelantan, Kota Baru, Oh my God, nasi daging, nasi kerabu, That's the only thing, and floods. Lots of banjir, That's what they think. But now, this is a totally different cup of tea. When you come to Kota Baru, Kelantan, you get surprised. And then another thing that we did over the years, with so much data that we gathered from the neuroimaging, the EEG cap, now you see my brain is being activated on my left. It's getting excited. There's a wireless being transmitted to the screen. So we started a brain bank where we stored EEG data, MRI data, fMRI data, MEG data, because even scientists love banks, And then we were thinking, we have to go further. We have data, but we don't have enough smart people to work with the data. So we wanted to go international. So we work with the United States of America, we work with China, we work with McGill in Canada, and even thanks to Datuk Mahathir, Tun Mahathir, we work with Cuba, and in those times, the South-South collaboration. So the Cubans flew all the way from Havana to Kota Baru, and they were so surprised to see, do you have this equipment amongst the paddy fields? Oh, interesting. And then they send their postdoc, to work with us. In fact, one of their postdoc fell in love with one of our pegawai science, And they were very annoyed. They say, oh, you're trying to steal our scientists. No, no, love is blind, love is blind, So we work with Americans where we started, I joined the Brain Economy Hub, the Brain Capital Alliance, and I have been recently elevated from Global Brain Consortium International. Now there's a Global Brain Consortium Southeast Asia that I'm in charge of, which I have now to improve neuroscience in Southeast Asia. And recently we joined World Economic Forum, where with the topic of brain economy and brain capital, we are trying to push in Malaysia the concept of brain capital and brain economy, where brain health is so important to run the economy of Malaysia. Without good brain health, from baby till the elderly population, your economy is not going to move one single inch. So that's very important. So with this collaboration, what we did, we also had to share data with other countries, those countries that were mentioned just now, United States, America, China, Canada, and Cuba. We shared the data, and we have come out with papers, unimaginable, Q1 papers, together with collaboration, Malaysia boleh. Malaysia boleh share our brain data with the Americans, with the Chinese, with the Cubans, the Europeans, and we can come out with useful, big brain data that we can use now to see how we can help people with dementia, with strokes, epilepsy, and other diseases. So, just imagine, Kota Baru, bukan Kuala Lumpur. We are able to do that. And this is not alone. We collaborate with many other people within Malaysia as well. Our colleagues from UKM, USIM as well is involved, UIA, and now our next generation of our young people that are younger than me. Louisa says she's 43. I'm going to 63 soon. So I have to prepare the next generation of Malaysian neuroscientists to move forward. So I have to take these handpicked young people that you see on the stage, on the screen, to work with Columbia University looking at neuroclimate. You know that when something goes wrong with the climate, your brain health is not good. You know that pollution increases the incidence of dementia. You should know. And we work with the Chinese looking at big data. We work with the Germans. We work with so many other countries. And we hope that this young generation, because orang muda ni dia tak ada network. So kita kena tolong networkkan mereka dengan these people so that they will jumpstart. This is the grasshopper thing, of course. But after that, they will work like an ant lah. They have to. Because when you collaborate internationally with important data, this is what happens. So we hope that all these people, the photos that you see on stage are not only from USM, they are from UTM, they are from Kuala Lumpur, the universities local, and we hope that these people will do multi-center international activities that will make us proud. And we hope that they will be able to publish papers. Even now, as we speak, last year, the last 2 years, we've been publishing papers in international journals as collaborators, whether we are the principal investigator or whether they are co-principal investigators. So, Kota Baru is not a bad place, you know? Betul tak? Siapa orang Kelantan sini? Tak ada orang Kelantan? Ada, angkat tangan. Okay, be proud, be proud. And please come back to Kota Baru. Not to come back during Hari Raya, of course, but to come continuously and come and visit our campus and see within that walls that you see Hospital Pakar USM, you will see the people behind it that work very hard to improve brain science and neuroscience, psychology, and neuropsychology. Orang tak sangka kan, orang tak sangka yang benda-benda ni boleh berlaku. And you will not, when you walk in the campus, you will not see people walking around like with cats like me lah, you know. We do these experiments in the lab. And I just want to tell you that the journey that I just mentioned to you has been published in a live book by a Dr. Neurologist from Penang. Her name is Dr. Yogi Akbi, where she has, there's a chapter dedicated to the journey of how we started from not many things to how we are today. And we hope that if you can Google this, you might get it on the internet. There's a chapter that summarizes what I just showed you on the slide about how we traveled from nowhere to somewhere. And my talk today is just to tell the young people out there, including you, those on the internet, is that if you have a dream, don't make it into a nightmare. Bring the dream to reality. Tak susah lah, because you're young. As I was young many years ago, I call myself the neuroman or the neuro gardener. And like I said, everything begins with a dream. To make a dream a reality, do the impossible, never say never, never say no, do not give up and follow up until the end. And another thing I have to mention is, which is important, my wife is here at the back and my youngest boy is here. Never forget your family when you're climbing up the mountain. Okay? Sometimes you tertinggal dia orang. And even good things other than nasi kerabu, nasi lemak, nasi daging, nasi tupai can happen in a state named Kelantan. Okay? And the current count today, we have 146 neurosurgeons working everywhere, including Kuala, including Miri, Tawau, Sabah. So they are everywhere. We have 120 scientists. They are working in NTU, NUS, Stanford. They get stolen. Dia nak cari kerja kat Malaysia ni susah sikit. There's no industry. We have produced more than 50 clinical psychologists. Some of them are working in the private hospitals in Kuala Lumpur. Maybe some of you are hiring them. I'm not very sure. And most importantly, the number of the female gender constitution of these specialists have gone up from 22% and increasing, because the ladies are theoretically smarter than the boys. Even as surgeons, you know, I'll get a lady neurosurgeon to operate my brain tumor anytime. So, but being a neuro gardener is not easy, and you will be gardeners in your own right when you can push your dream to become true, and when you want to plant the seed, and the seed grows into a pokok, and in this case, the pokok is hibiscus, because hibiscus is the national flower of our country. I wear white, that's why this AI generation, kat hospital, I pakai putih. Not black today lah, like today. So you see in this video, if you work very hard, you work like an ant, but actually once in a while you jump like a grasshopper, you can get, your dream will become true, and you will have a nice bunga raya, blossoming, colorful, and I think you'll be a very happy person. And this is what our contribution has been for the last 30 years to this country. And I hope this message to all of you online and in this hall is never give up, and teruskan mimpi, jangan jadi nightmare, sebab kadang-kadang jadi nightmare, tapi things will look bright and things will work. Thank you very much.